Russia and Iran warn against the repercussions of an American military aggression on Syria.
International news live from Moscow. This is RT with me, Yulia Shapovalova. Thanks for joining us. Israel has tested a missile defense system in the Mediterranean, causing a brief spike in tension in a region currently seeing a build-up of military force.
You're asking about the danger of escalation, really, with Russia and China. I think it's very, very serious.
The launch was detected by Russia's radars and comes as the U.S. positions itself for an expected attack on Syria.
Well, I think getting to the truth of it, and that's what we're not getting to.
Russian radar had earlier detected the launch of 2 ballistic objects from the Mediterranean towards the Syrian coast. Israeli military initially said it was not aware of any missile strike. The Russian embassy in Syria has confirmed there's no sign of the missiles having reached Damascus. The event comes amid growing expectations of Western military action in Syria.
On each story, the United States and Israel are giving conflicting accounts of ballistic missile fired in the Mediterranean amid high tensions in the region over a possible attack on Syria. Israel says it has carried out a, quote, successful joint missile test with the U.S. in the region. However, Washington says it has fired no missiles. Earlier in the day, Russian media said the country's radar systems had detected 2, quote, ballistic objects. They were fired from the central Mediterranean towards the eastern part of the sea.
No, I don't. I think it's a false flag. I think really, indeed.
The president added that those who accuse Syria of using chemical weapons are responsible for presenting the evidence.
So, Ron Paul, you heard Donald Rumsfeld. Did anything dissuade you of that view?
Hardly, and hardly should he be considered an expert on the region. He gave us Iraq and Afghanistan, and he was buddies with Saddam Hussein. You know, he worked with him when Saddam Hussein was actually using poison gases. And look at where Iraq is today. It's a disaster. It's more allied with Iran right now. The Al-Qaeda's in Iraq, and there's death totals coming up every single day. We hear about the death. So hardly would he be able to give us advice on what to do in Afghanistan. No, I don't. I think it's a false flag. I think really, indeed. And it's not, you know, the implication is that Assad committed 100,000 killings. There are a lot of factions out there. Why don't we ask, you know, about the Al-Qaeda? Why are we on the side of the Al-Qaeda right now? So I think they want the weapons. The rebels want the weapons. There's a bunch of people in there. Al-Qaeda is part of it. And this is the test for us to drop a couple bombs and then send in weapons.
So we're being sucked in. You argue we're being sucked in. It's dangerous. Big time, and it's big risk. This can escalate, and Russia could get involved. What if there's an accident and 100 Russians get killed by our bombs? Who knows? Some type of unintended consequences. Wars always expand because of unintended consequences. They always provide short-term war. Just think of all the promises on Iraq. Short-term, not much money. In and
over.
Out,
we'll get their oil.
No, all
don't believe it. We should look at what's best for America and not trying to pick sides in an impossible war like this. Won't be on the side of the American people, and the American people right now, by a very large majority, are opposed to this war. The Constitution can't support this war, and morally we can't support this war, getting involved in a civil war and a strife that's been going on in that region for thousands of years.